Okay, here we are. We have our canvas all ready to go. It's been plastered, and as you can see near the top of it, we've got some really nice cracks where I put it on fairly thickly. What I want to do now is just create a nice mottled background, and I'm going to use 3 different colors here, and I'm going to go from light to dark. So I think what I'll do is I'll start with the dark color using this giant brush, which by the way used to look like that. As you can see, I've used it for many projects and they do last a long time. I've got my space set up with the palette colors out and lots of room to blend. This, by the way, is a wax palette. It has a waxy surface so that the paint doesn't wrinkle the paper and it stays nice and moist on there. And I've got paper towel to blot my brush if I need to, and water to clean the brush and to add water to the paint if it gets a little thick and sticky and hard to move. Okay, so step 1 is to start with a damp brush, blot it, pick up some of my green, the dark color, and I'm going to start at the top. And this motion is called slip slap, and as you can see, I'm doing it in short choppy strokes in an X fashion. Now the cracks here are quite deep, so I'm going to need a little extra water to make sure that that paint flows right into those cracks. I mean, if you wanted them to stay on top, the color to stay on top and let those cracks show, then that would do it. But for this, I want it totally filled in, so a little more paint, a little more water, and really lay on that color. Okay, so there's the paint's wet, and I'm going to work from my wet edge and pick up with some more water some of the next color and start away from that dark green with the full brush and then gradually slip slap back into that green. Now, if I started there, I would end up losing all that dark, which I don't want to do. So a little more water, a little more paint, and get it on there, and now the much lighter touch, I'm slip slapping it into the dark green. I want brush marks, but I don't want too choppy a look. I just want it nice and mottled. You could take your mop brush at this point and just lightly, very lightly go over that surface and just get rid of those brush marks. Now, see that little hair? This is how you get them off. Just like that. Gone. Okay, before it dries now, I've got to hurry up. I'm going to pick up some more green and go down here a little ways, a little further. And then I'm going to start picking up yellow. Again, start away from the original patch that you were working on. And that's a little too yellow. Ugh. Like so, and then back up into that wet middle value, and again choppy strokes, X strokes, blend it in. There we go. Now maybe just a little more mopping here just to soften those marks. There we go. Okay, so on, keep going. I'm going to go in with some more of the light value down at the bottom and get it covered until we're nice and light. What a neat background to start on. Lots of variation. Colors all softly blended. And we're pretty good to go here. I quite like that. Now what I'm going to do is dry this and show you what you can do with another brush that I use a lot to help blend it, to add some more variation. I'll show you that in a second. First, I'm just going to dry it. Okay, it's dry now, and this is what's called a dome scrubber. I really like them. They come in different sizes. They come in different sizes, anywhere from little to giant sizes, what this one is. So really what you need to do is gauge the size of the piece you're working on, and the background you want to cover is to determine what size brush to use. This one I'm going to use the big one since I want to cover a large area. Okay, now see down here we've got a few holes. Well, what we can do is with this dome scrubber, which by the way is bone dry, it needs to be really dry, and I'm going to scrub into it a little of that color that I used down there. And then I'm going to take dry paper towel, dry is important here, and rub it off. Not all of it, but a lot of it. And then start with a light touch and just go in there and scrub a little more of this color. You see what's happening too is it's picking up on the ridges of the canvas, so I get nice light colors happening wherever there's a ridge in the canvas. Do it again, scrub off some. That's not wanting to cover. I don't think it was quite dry. I'll cheat. There we go, done. Scrub again, just to vary the color patterns. Now say you wanted another light patch right about in here. You could start there and just very lightly scrub until you see what's coming off the brush. And as you can see what's happening, you can apply a little more pressure and get a nice light patch happening. This is a really cool way to add highlights. And again, see how it's picking up on the texture of the canvas. Wonderful. Say I want it a little brighter. I'm going to pick up a bit more, just yellow this time. There's still green in the brush, but I've got a little extra yellow. Very lightly to start. And then gradually, as it's safe, we don't want to leave brush marks. Just want a real dry, soft, dusted color look. There we go. Got a little more. We could even go up here and do that over the cracked areas and watch what happens here. There we go. Look at that. Accentuate cracks. Very cool. I like that look. And just keep working it until you're happy with what you've got. Maybe I want to add some more dark down in maybe one of these corners. I'm going to go back into my dark. Notice I didn't wash the brush. It needs to be dry. So if there's too much light color in the brush to do the trick, then just scrub it out and reload the dark. That should take care of that light color. And again, let's start in the corner. Light touch. Oops. See what I mean about streaks? Don't want streaks. So take out some more of that paint. Let's try it again. Softly. There we go. Gradually work it in. Blend it out. More pressure, more paint. You want it to softly disappear. Back off on the pressure. And again, see, it's picking up on those ridges, which is, oh so pretty. There we go. So we have a nice slip-slap background with lots of variation in color and texture. And it's ready to put a pattern on and paint something. There we go. Dry it really well. Soften that one out. A couple of brush marks there. And we're good to go. So